Hey guys, it is April from Getting Hooked With It. Today I wanted to talk to you about a book that I just finished reading that I cannot stop thinking about. I love it so much. It's The Kitchen House. Let's discuss. So I should mention that I read The Kitchen House with Krista's Goodreads read-along group called the Books and Jams Read-Along. And we read The Kitchen House this October, and oh my gosh, I've fallen head over heels in love with this author, Kathleen Grissom, and the entire story. It is so addictive. So I had to do a standalone video just dedicated to this book because I loved it that much. So I'm going to read the back for you so you can get a little idea of what this is about. At the turn of the 19th century, on a tobacco plantation in Virginia, young white Lavinia, who was orphaned on her passage from Ireland, arrives on the steps of the kitchen house and is placed under the care of Belle, the master's illegitimate black daughter. Lavinia learns to cook, clean, serve food, and cherish the quiet strength and love of her new family. In time, Lavinia is accepted into the world of the big house, caring for the master's opium-addicted wife and befriending his dangerous yet protective son. She attempts to straddle the worlds of the kitchen house and the big house, but her skin color will forever set her apart from Belle and the other slaves. This book is just brilliant. So first of all, I think we need to address the big elephant in the room, which is Kathleen Grissom is a white Canadian author writing about the South during slavery. And I approached this book with a lot of hesitation because of that. That said, she did a beautiful job, in my opinion, as a white woman. So I would actually love to hear more from the Black community and the Black BookTube community about what they think of this book, because I mean, I loved it from my perspective, but I'd love to hear more people's opinions on it. One of the reasons I think that this worked so well for Kathleen Grissom is, first of all, the amount of research that she did. She did extensive research to write this book. She didn't just pick up her pen and start writing. She explored old maps and learned about the history of this area, and she just went all out in her research. So I think that really helped. I also think it helped that she included a white character as one of the main characters and was able to touch upon slavery from that angle of a white Irish girl being thrown into basically slavery, and creating this family with this little Black community that was just so magical and beautiful and heartbreaking. And I know that you guys know that I love the Modern Mrs. Darcy's podcast called What Should I Read Next? And Anne Bogle actually had Kathleen Grissom on one day on her podcast, and Kathleen Grissom talked about how the Black community really celebrated this book and she felt really accepted. So I feel like she did a lot of work for this book to be accurate and not sensationalized in any way. I just think she did an awesome job. I thought it was important to address that before going on to other reasons that I loved the book so much. But yeah, so the characters. Oh my gosh, you were gonna fall in love with these characters. There is an enormous cast of characters here. We are talking about people that live and work on the grounds and in the kitchen house. We meet a couple of characters who work in the fields, and then we meet all of the characters in the big house too. So there is an enormous cast of characters, and how she was able to build such rich characters in the amount of them. I just don't know how she did that. She just did it beautifully. I also loved how much complexity there were in all of these characters. You're walking this fine, strange line in this kind of strange system that is slavery, where blacks and whites are constantly interacting, and blacks are often, you know, taking care and raising children. Um, and so there is this bond between people, and yet this enormous strange line. And what I thought was so interesting about reading from a child's perspective is them learning about all of that. You know, they're, you know, not born into this world understanding those complexities. And through Lavinia, you really see how the system is created and what her place is in it, which she struggles with a lot. And you also see that in the white children up at the big house. And it was fascinating for me. The other thing I freaking loved about this book was how much happened in such a short read. Like, this is 300 and maybe, I don't know, 60 something pages. Not huge, pretty average for historical fiction. But I felt like I had read 800 pages because so much happened, and it's so fast paced. I find a lot of the time with historical fiction, things can go a little bit slowly. That not the case at all with this book. She jam-packs so much in here. And it will make you feel all of the feels. I felt so much love reading this book, and you feel the tragedy and the just the complexities of this system. I just adored it, and I loved it so much that I'm already reading Glory Over Everything, which is the sequel, and we follow one of the characters from the kitchen house in Glory Over Everything, and I'm loving it already. So if you guys need a good historical fiction book that is going to make you feel all of the feels, The Kitchen House is such a great place to start. It's so good. So I had to make this video because I just fell head over heels, and I had to share that with you. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!